Hello, my name is Palma Accari, and you are watching a very special episode of Tidal Flooding Talk. We're live at the Irish Pub in Atlantic City and brought to you by the New Jersey Coastal Coalition. So Dan, who do we have here today?
All right, well, I'm Meteorologist Dan Skeldon, and we are welcoming our youngest guest ever on Tidal Flooding Talk at 7 weeks old and 7 weeks, 1 day.
Ooh.
This is Kenzie Skeldon, who is sound asleep.
Very deep sleeper because I think we're pretty loud.
Hopefully we didn't put her to sleep, so she was asleep before we got here.
She was asleep before we started, so it wasn't the show.
It is her first trip to Atlantic City. It's her first trip to the Irish Pub. And that's where we are every Sunday.
Yes, we are.
And this is brought to you by the New Jersey Coastal Coalition. You guys, of course, can join the conversation, or you can listen, as well as Kenzie's listening right now. She's have a good weekend with Amanda's family. Amanda's here in attendance as well. If Kenzie starts crying, Amanda will come to the rescue like she always does.
Mm-hmm. And this is an interactive show, so if you want to take advantage of being able to ask questions to our lovely guest here or to one of us, you could chime in on Facebook or just comments, whatever.
That's right, and we are here every Sunday, 7 p.m. Normally, we bring you guests from elected officials. We've had assemblymen here, assembly people here. Guests is open to really anyone.
Other meteorologists.
Other meteorologists. Those are the long weeks for you when you're surrounded by meteorologists. We've had surveyors here and lots of different guests. If you guys have suggestions for a guest, please feel free. If you are someone who would like to be a guest, you can reach out to us as well. This is every Sunday, 7 p.m. from the Irish Pub in Atlantic City. And of course, if you're in Atlantic City and around the Irish Pub, you're welcome to watch live.
Yeah, and so Dan, I think that there is a particular season that is approaching us.
It is. Hurricane season begins a month from Wednesday. It's not a season that a lot of us look forward to, like the holiday season or the summer season, which also begins pretty shortly.
Do you look forward to the hurricane season?
I look forward to a quiet hurricane season, which I think, this one I think is going to be an average season, meaning, 13, 14, 15 storms. And if all 15 storms stay out over the ocean, it's a good season. If we have even one hit land, then it's a bad season. So,
now, how do you determine that it's going to be an average or normal hurricane season?
We look at a lot of factors. I mean, good question. We look at El Nino, which you've heard of, and what's going on off the Pacific, off of South America. We look at the water temperatures out towards Africa. We look at if there's dust from the Sahara Desert blowing off the African continent, how much of that is. Dust actually stops hurricanes from forming. So you kind of cheer on dust if you don't want hurricanes. A lot of stuff we look at. And in the summertime, of course, instead of like regular nor'easters and full moons and that, it's tropical systems that become the main cause of tidal flooding. Now, this year's list of names is also out. We use the same list every 6 years. So this list was used again last in 2013. And it starts with Andrea, Barry, Chantal, Dorian, Erin, Fernand, Gabrielle, Umberto, Imelda, Jerry, not Kenzie, it's Karen. Kenzie's not on the list.
We'll get on there one day, Kenzie.
And Palma's not on the list either. The P name this year is actually Pablo. That's not on there. The female P names are Paulette, Paula, and Patty.
All right, well, my mom's name is Paula,
there you go.
so I'm not that offended.
So what you would need to get on the list, I don't know, would you want to have a hurricane named after you and go about and cause death and destruction?
I might be
or are you okay
enough.
without it? You think so? Without a hurricane being named after you? In order to get on the list, though, let's say you wanted to get on the list, you would need Paula, Patty, or Paulette to be really bad, do a lot of damage, hurt or kill a lot of people, be retired into the Hurricane Hall of Fame, and then the meteorologist would nominate the name Palma as a replacement. So you have a long way to go to get on one of those lists.
What are some of the hurricane names that have been retired?
Well, Sandy. There'll never be another Sandy. Irene, even though Irene wasn't bad for South Jersey, there'll never be another Irene. Gloria, which is actually the storm that in 1985 brushed by South Jersey, hit us pretty good, but it hit New England harder. I was a 9-year-old kid in New England, and that's the storm that made me want to become a meteorologist. inches.
Wow.
So, dating myself a little bit here, but that was the storm that sparked my interest. Andrew, Katrina in New Orleans. Whenever a hurricane's bad, it's retired. Last year we had Matthew, a really bad one hit Florida, the Panhandle, right around Mexico, Florida. That storm is retired, so Matthew is now retired. We actually ran out of I names almost. A lot of I names were retired. So, Irene and Iris, not Isis, Iris.
I think Isis might be.
Yeah, Isis would not be a
different
name.
category completely.
But yeah, we ran out of female I names actually, because Isidore, Isabel, all of these I names were being bad, hitting land and being retired. So, so it is the start of hurricane season in 1 month and a couple days. Of course, in South Jersey, our main threat usually is until August, September, October. But as we preach every week on Tidal Flooding Talk, you should always have a hurricane kit, should always have a hurricane plan, and you should always be ready for flooding if and when it hits.
Yeah, and definitely with the plan, it's supposed to be with your entire household, that everyone's on the same page. One person shouldn't just know the plan, everyone should know the plan. And that should actually be year-round, because flooding is not just during hurricane season, it's all year-round here in New Jersey.
That's right, and that's the first thing we taught Kenzie, was the plan.
Oh, yeah?
So she knows our evacuation plan, and she's already storm ready.
Does she have any jobs for the
No, just to look cute and safely evacuate with us.
She's not driving the getaway car?
She's not driving. She's passengering, and in fact, Kenzie's mom just got a nice new mom car.
Oh, really?
So I can give a shout out to Burke Motor Group, who was awesome in helping both me and my wife get nice parent cars. And
did Amanda drive here in her new car?
She did. I made her drive to Atlantic City in her brand new car. So and Kenzie loves it as well. She hasn't thrown up or anything in it yet. So Mom's still happy with Kenzie.
Are you gonna do a pool of how long you think that it'll take before she?
It won't take long. Now,
does something in the car.
We have 2 dogs, and the 2 dogs make my car very messy. The 2 dogs are not allowed in Mom's new car, so it's Kenzie who's going to make Mom's new car very messy. Most likely.
But Kenzie's allowed in your car too. Right?
Yeah, of course she is. Yeah, not Amanda sometimes, but Kenzie is.
Oh boy.
Let's say hi to Justin Thomas. Nice to have you on, Justin. Tracy Ann. I think Kenzie getting a lot of shout outs today. Roger Cope, one of Amanda's friends, who is now one of my friends, wants to know what kind of beer I'm drinking tonight. Well, Mom's not drinking because she is nursing. I am drinking diet soda, and she's the driver too. Good point.
Don't drink and drive.
But lots of good beer at the Irish Pub, which of course, Roger, next time you're in Atlantic City, I know you didn't make it here last time, you're more than welcome to come down to.
Absolutely.
Sandra Cortez says, hi, Kenzie. Linda H.G., who may or may not be Kenzie's grandma, says tonight is your best guest, though.
I would agree.
I don't know. Jim Eberwine is pretty close. I'm kidding. Kenzie's my favorite guest. Absolutely. We have the youngest person associated with Tidal Flooding Talk here tonight, and we have the oldest person associated with Tidal Flooding Talk here
behind
tonight
the camera.
Well. Behind the camera, yes.
In front of, behind. And I think that Kenzie might be the first and probably only guest that is shorter than me.
I think so, actually. I think we are safe. And she's catching up to you pretty quickly, too. I think she's like 21 inches last appointment and growing pretty quickly.
Just a little shorter.
Just a little shorter, yeah. Amy Cope says, hey, baby girl, can't wait to meet Kenzie. Her Aunt Alyssa's on. So Kenzie has a lot of family and friends on tonight, too. Rebecca Weisbecker says, oh, sweet baby. Olivia Lehman, hello, baby Kenzie. Now, I know Amanda's family, Alyssa and Linda, usually don't watch, all right? But they're watching because of this one right here, not because of us.
It's fine.
I know a lot of you guys regularly watch this. It's great to have you guys
understand.
on. Maria Affronti, nice to have you on. Adorable baby girl. Barbara Ferguson, nice to have you on. Liz Toller, your special guest this evening. Joy Howe, one of my friends from Pennsylvania, says Kenzie the cutest, and she's met her before at work. Beware of the I hurricane, says Liz Toller. And yes, you do have to be aware of it because a lot of them have been retired. And like I said, we've kind of run out of names. So you hear the I names now for girls are Imelda, Ida, and Adalia. Vidalia minus the V. I've never heard of that.
I guess they're just going to start making up
Kind of.
names?
Kind of. And for guys, it's Isaias, Ian, and Isaac. I mean, a few of those are common. And also with the names, we pull them from the English language, the French language, and the Spanish language, because those are the languages spoken from people in this part of the world that get hit by hurricanes. So that's why you have like Umberto on there, you have Edouard, you have some French ones, and then you have some American ones,
Now, has
English
there been
ones as well.
a change in how they pick names?
There is actually, believe it or not, and I've done a lot on hurricane names, and people are always fascinated by this stuff. Back when they first started naming hurricanes, they named them when they struck. Like, for instance, like the one that struck South Jersey in 1944 was the Great Atlantic Hurricane of September of 1944. So isn't it easier to say Bob than the Great Atlantic Hurricane of September 1944? So we started naming them on days of the Labor Day hurricane, whatever. And then when meteorologists were first dominated by men, they named them after their wives. Now, I don't know if that was meant to be an insult, saying, well, my wife's a big storm, so I'm going to name them after my wife, or it was meant to be, I'm going to honor my wife by naming a storm after them.
Now that I'm sort of learning how meteorologists are, I think that it would be honoring them.
I would like to think so too, yes.
Because it's not, I think that's how it is.
I would like to hope so. And so for the 50s and 60s and 70s, if you think of all the hurricanes, Hazel, Carol, Donna, Connie, Edna, Diane, they all had female names. And then girls started saying, wait a second, we have all these destructive storms, they're named after us, and all this death and destruction are ruining our names, let's do boys too. So in 1979, they started going boy, girl, boy, girl.
Wow, how do you just know this off the top of your head?
Researched
1979.
Yes.
Do you know the exact date?
I do not know. Well, June 1st, when the hurricane season began. But that's how we started naming hurricanes. And we use 21 letters. You want to guess the 5 letters that we do not use in naming storms, because it's hard to come up with names. X.
Okay. Z.
Z. And it's 3 more.
Q.
Q. The other 2 are at the end of the alphabet. They're U and a Y.
Okay. I was going to say Y, but I kind of thought...
There are some, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we use V.
All right, 3 out of 5.
We go down to W, and do you know what happens if we run out of names? If we go all the way to W, A to W, and we run out...
Then the hurricanes just don't come anymore.
We would like to think that. We actually use Greek letters. So it'd be Hurricane Alpha, Tropical Storm Epsilon, Beta, Delta, whatever.
And have any of those ever been retired or used?
They've been used. I don't think they've been retired.
Okay.
So there's all your Hurricane 101 trivia that we have for you tonight.
Names, hurricane names.
Hurricane names. And remember, the same list is used every 6 years. So in 2012, the year that we had Sandy, there'll be no S Sandy on there. There'll be another female name, an S name for Sandy, because that storm is retired into what I like to say the Hurricane Hall of Fame, even though there's no Hall of Fame you could visit like a baseball Hall of Fame, but they're retired into the, the Hurricane Vault.
So if you're ever at a trivia night and they say, when did they start naming hurricanes after men, it would be 1979.
Yes, that's absolutely right. And each ocean has their own names. So in the Eastern Pacific, storms that would hit Hawaii or Acapulco, Mexico, in the rare event California, they have their own list of names.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Hurricanes,
so they're separate from our list?
They are. Same naming practices, but they're separate. And then typhoons are out in the Pacific Ocean. Japan, the Philippines, Taiwan, they have their own list of names. In the Indian Ocean, they're called cyclones. They have their own list of names. They hit Bangladesh, Australia, that area. They have their own list of names. So each ocean basin that gets hurricanes has their own list of names they use.
All right, last question about the names, which you might have already said. Who is responsible for ever choosing these names? Is there like a committee or something?
There is. It's the WMO, the World Meteorological Organization. Okay. So they're like an official, and they change the names, and they vote on the names, and all the stuff that goes with names. Now, one final bit on names. We actually, now, you may remember in January of 2016, we had a nor'easter which South Jersey knows as Jonas, right? That's a nor'easter that gets a name. That's not an official name. That is one network, the Weather Channel, making their own list of names, making up their own criteria, and naming nor'easters, or naming winter storms. A lot of the meteorologists are saying, wait a second, that's not right, because they're doing it, they're doing it to help raise awareness, but they're also doing it to raise publicity and get retweets and get Facebook shares, and they're doing it for selfish reasons, but also unselfish reasons. So nor'easter naming and winter storm naming is not a universal practice. So people say Jonas. I held out for the longest time because I don't like the practice of naming it. I think we should, but we should have a system like we do for hurricanes and make everyone use it, not just one channel. So there's a little side note on it. So for years and years, well, not for years and years, for several years, I called Jonas the January 22nd and 23rd nor'easter of 2016. It's a lot easier to say Jonas. No hashtag. It's harder to commit to get a hashtag. Jonas is easy. So I like the idea of naming them, but we do have to be all on the same page and not have one network do it.
Consistent with how we name hurricanes.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Could agree with
Tracy Ann says her hurricane plan is to go stay in the casino.
That's not
Which I mean, if you're going to stay on the island, the casinos are the tallest and probably best built buildings on the island. But of course, if you have an evacuation order, is she waking up?
She's cooing.
If you have an evacuation order, you should not, should not disobey it. We always stress if it's a mandatory evacuation, it means you get off the island. So, but if you're stuck, the casinos are probably the higher falls of the casino are safest from flooding anyway. Not necessarily strong winds, but from flooding, yes. Angela says the cutest guess yet. Let's see.
Hopefully none of the other guests are watching, but I think that they would agree.
I hope so. Sandra says she's rocking it being the cutest. Phyllis says, what a great baby. Sherry Rayburn says, I'm watching for Kenzie, LOL. So yeah, other people are watching for Kenzie as well. And I take no offense to that.
I don't blame them. I don't.
Let's see. Robin Vaughn from Southeast Mass. Says Kenzie's a cutie pie. Still cold in Southeast Massachusetts. Nice to have you on. So we got Ohio, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. So far represented. So Kenzie's drawing a regional crowd.
Wow. We need to have her. I don't know, Dan. You might have some competition here.
Well, maybe I'll just be you and Kenzie next week.
Skeldon for
I think she's more popular. What is Kenzie's favorite grub at the Irish pub? Well, since me and Amanda's are chicken fingers, it'd probably be chicken fingers. I think it's inherited.
Yeah.
What's your favorite grub at the Irish
Well,
pub?
I do like the shrimp platter, but also their burger is really good.
I've only had chicken fingers. I've lived here in South Jersey since 2003. I started here, and I've never had anything but chicken fingers. So
well, what's interesting about the chicken fingers is that they serve it with coleslaw too.
Yes, they do.
Which
not many places do.
Which is really good.
Yep.
And same thing with the shrimp platter. They have coleslaw and the burger. Maybe they give coleslaw with everything.
Maybe.
I don't know, but it's good.
Let's see. Susan Dowling, Rita Gioria. God bless Kenzie. Thanks so much, guys. Jeff Davis.
Are there any questions for Kenzie? I mean, she might be able to
just
answer
besides
later
of her
on.
favorite grub at the Irish pub. Let's see. Carmela says, this is so precious. What is the baby name? Carolyn Christine D. Flem. This is Kenzie. So we kind of compromised on the name. I wanted Mackenzie. Amanda did not like the Ma, and she wanted Tomina in honor of Tom Quirk, our executive. I'm kidding. She wanted Kennedy. All right, so Kennedy, Mackenzie.
That is a really good
compromised.
combination there. Okay.
Yeah. And thankfully we had a girl. We didn't know what we were having. We were surprised because the boy name we were less sure on. The girl name it was Kenzie from the start, but the boy name. I'm
surprised you weren't fighting for a weather term.
If it was a boy, Doppler. I was joking. Amanda said I could name my dog Doppler. She my next dog. She didn't say anything about naming a son Doppler. I thought Doppler Radar Skeldon would be a good name. But he'd probably get joked a lot at the school. So when we get there, so Kenzie's the baby's name. Let's see. Liz Toller, you're under the impression that the casinos and AC close when they post a hurricane warning? Yes, they do. I believe. No businesses I think are allowed to operate along the shore under an emergency evacuation order. It's a good point. I know the poster may have been joking, but
they are closed. However, I think that they do have rooms for emergency personnel if they need somewhere to go. They'll allow firefighters or something like that in there.
Which makes sense, yeah. So hopefully your plan never includes staying when there is a mandatory evacuation order. And we saw a problem with that, with Irene. That was our first big hurricane in a while, or it could have been. Everyone left. They evacuated the entire Cape May County, not just the shore. They evacuated people at Woodbine, and Petersburg, and Tuckahoe, and probably didn't need to. By the time, that was a decision that was made, and everyone left, and Irene wasn't bad. So the next storm comes next year, Sandy. Less people leave because of the last storm. So you got to remember, in weather, no two storms are the same. So even though we missed one storm, the next one could be worse than thought. So you always got to treat each storm as their own separate, being, if you will. Let's see, what else have we got for comments? Kenzie's very popular, and I appreciate all the nice questions, the comments, guys. And so far the only question was her Irish pub food.
And the one of the only guests to not get any negative comments.
Yes.
No, I don't think any of our guests have gotten
I don't think there's been too many negative comments. No, absolutely not. So again, we are here live at the Irish Pub. Coming up in the future, I've been talking with Vince Jones, Atlantic County Emergency Management Director, coming up in May. He'll be a first-time guest on Tidal Flooding Talk. So Vince and I actually went down, since we're talking about hurricanes a lot, to the National Hurricane Conference in New Orleans. So I got to actually go to New Orleans. I wasn't as impressed with New Orleans, and I thought it was dirty. I thought, it was cool to work Bourbon Street, but I just thought it was dirty. It was not what I thought. It was a cool, I got to go, check it off my bucket list, and the food was delicious, and the people were really nice. It wasn't exactly what I thought.
What do you mean by dirty?
I don't know, just walking Bourbon Street.
I
don't know. It was a lot of drinking, and people. It wasn't Mardi Gras, but it just felt a little. I'm not saying trash piling up in the street. I don't want to. If we have a New Orleans, Chamber of Commerce, I don't want to give bad. The city was, like I said, the people were so nice in that. It was just like Bourbon Street itself. I liked. There was the locals Bourbon Street, which was Frenchman Street, I think is what it was called. I thought that was beautiful. The music, the atmosphere. Bourbon Street was a little much for me. It wasn't quite my style. The rest of the city I liked. But Bourbon Street was just a little overwhelming.
Yeah, I would love to go to New Orleans.
It's something I'm glad I got to see. But Vince Jones and I went for the Hurricane Conference, and we actually, on a panel to all meteorologists and emergency personnel across the country, we were on a panel about Sandy and the forecast and the response. And so Vince will be a guest, and that's something we'll probably talk about. So he'll be a guest coming up in May. Have some other great guests lined up as well. We like to welcome back guests who have been popular or guests who just have a lot to say and are great interviews. And then we also welcome first-time guests as well. So again, if you have any guest suggestions, please feel free to fire away.
Now, is that conference held there because of Katrina?
No, it
rotates.
Or
has it always? Oh, okay.
It rotates, so it's not always in the same city. So I don't go every year, but that year I was asked to speak, and it was an experience. Like I said, I'm really glad I got to go to New Orleans. I'd like to go again, but I necessarily wouldn't go to Bourbon Street. Let's see Bourbon Street one. So let's see. Anything else we got?
Do we have any more questions or comments?
We got Angelo saying Doppler is great. I just renamed my dog. So there. So someone named their dog Doppler because of.
It is a really good dog name.
It is a good dog name. Not necessarily a good kid name though.
Yeah.
Let's see. Evelyn Kenzie's cutie. Patty Smith. Nice to have you on. Angela Accardi says, "Look who's waking up." Is she waking up?
She was.
Starting to.
We may be putting
Angela.
her back to sleep. Liz would like Tom Lemaine back, and Tom was a great guest. Tom is someone you could talk to for hours.
Yeah.
I mean, he just has so much meteorology experience and just so much life experience. I would love to welcome Tom Lemaine.
We do have some of those guests that it just
I mean, all the guests are great.
Go on.
Some of them, I mean, most of them, you can just talk.
Absolutely.
Tidal Flooding Talk is 25 minutes if we listen to our producers' cues. Some weeks we don't, and you know, some people
sometimes the producer's like
giving us a rap.
Get out of there!
But yeah, and weather people, you know, love to go over cues. I just ask any TV producer I've had, and yeah, I go a little long sometimes. Let's see, we have Michael Henry, Chef Dave at the Hard Rock. Nice to have you on,
Hello.
Chef. Have you eaten at the Hard Rock yet?
I haven't eaten there, but I've been there.
Okay. Okay, what do you think?
I like it.
Great job redoing the Taj. Michael says, I rode my motorcycle in and I'm not going to get wet.
What kind of motorcycle? It's important.
So, Michael, and you won't get wet, Michael. It's breezy now, and there's some chilly air coming in tonight, and we're going to get into the upper 30s in the Pinelands, which is kind of chillier compared to where we've been a lot of the month. But no, you're not going to get wet. Dry the rest of the night. Next chance of showers is tomorrow night.
Oh, wow.
Rain showers, nothing major.
And you're saying it's going to be a little chilly this week?
Tomorrow morning is going to be chilly.
Okay.
On the way to work and school. Probably 30-something on the mainland, 40 along the shore. That's chilly for late April. It's not record cold. It's just chillier. We've had a warm April. We've had 70s. We had 80s last week. So 30s is going to feel chilly. But then tomorrow night, we're going to be up about 50. So, I mean, it's not going to last.
Okay.
So, and you'll be dry, Mike. And nice to have you on. And I'm sure you do great things at the Hard Rock. Hard Rock in general has been great for Atlantic City. Kristen Kaiser, nice to have you on. She says hi to Kenzie. Gloria Farringcup. She's moving around, so people. She is a squirmer. There she goes. Tracy says, "Oh, that's too cold," but you know, not too many mornings in the 30s left. So once again, New Jersey Coastal Coalition invites you to tune in every week and go to the website. The one thing, and I promise you, I'll wrap up after this. Our Sea Isle City flooding camp is up and operational
and
now.
Successful so far.
It's been great. The picture quality is great. Now, this is not a weather cam to go to when you want to see, hey, is it like I want to see the sunshine or I want to see a great shot of the beach. These cameras, and this is hopefully the first of many, are supposed to be and are focused on areas where flooding happens, so you can see exactly how bad the flooding is, how deep the water is, how quickly the water is receding, and these cameras are going to be strategically placed up and down the shore. You know, some of them are meant to capture tourist shots and, you know, the crowds on the boardwalk and the sunset. This one has another purpose, and it's basically to capture flooding, to study flooding.
Might be a little bit more important than tourist shots, but
I mean, maybe not on a day like today, but during storms, I think these cameras are going to be very valuable. Or not even during storms, just when the moon is full and the wind is northeast, these cameras are going to be very, very valuable at you know, helping us assess flooding and also just educating people.
Right.
Let's say people have never been to Sea Isle City where this camera is, they can go on and say, oh my God, that's what happens during a flood, or maybe a seasonal homeowner or whatnot. So you can go to the Coastal Coalition website, which is
njcoastalcoalition.com.
I think I have that memorized by now.
And hopefully we'll be getting more of these cameras up and running in other municipalities on the shore. And you could also check us out on our Instagram page, Facebook. We have a YouTube channel, which all of these Tidal Flooding Talk episodes get uploaded onto YouTube and our website.
That's right, and we are here every Sunday at 7 p.m. at the Irish Pub. You can listen live on Facebook. All our episodes are archived, and you can also come on down to the Irish Pub for some coleslaw, some chicken fingers, or the shrimp platter, or anything else they have.
And before we end the show, the Irish Pub gift shop does not only have t-shirts, they also have collectible items such as this piggy bank, which I should have taken out, but it is for Kenzie, and it's really cute. It has an Irish blessing on it. And this was only, I'm not going to say the price, but it's affordable, and it's at the Irish Pub gift shop.
And, you know, Amanda was just saying Kenzie does not have a piggy bank yet. Actually, she just
they
said
don't
that the other day.
They don't have onesies or anything like that, but they do have something that you could cherish for.
They probably don't get too many 7-week-old babies in
here,
I would imagine.
When I asked the girl that works in there if they have anything for newborns, she said, yeah, we usually don't have newborns sitting at the bar, so we don't really have anything right now. But
and Kenzie's not sitting at the bar, but she's in this What do they call this alcove here? They have a name for
The
it.
Tidal Flooding Talk room.
That's what it is. It's the official. It's the Tom Quirk Memorial alcove. Not memorial yet, anyway. All right. Well, thanks, guys, for joining us.
Thank you.
Kenzie thanks you as well. She's been a wonderful guest.
has
Hopefully,
been.
we did not put you guys to sleep as much as we put Kenzie to sleep.
She was asleep before the show.
She was. And she will be back for sporadic visits on occasion, but I think next week's guest will be a little bit older. That's my forecast.
Okay.
Think that's good?
Yeah.
All right, thanks, guys.
Good
We'll
night,
see you back here
everyone.
next week.